just want to share a quick case history with you, just showing a key concept, being grateful for injury and symptoms. When your body's telling you something, I just encourage you to pay attention to it. I have a couple case histories that come to mind when I think of this, but I'm just working through one right now, and he's seen some really cool changes. And so I just wanted to share with you why we should be grateful for what our body's telling us, including when it's giving us pain signals, fatigue singles. So because that's what we need to be dealing with things. Okay. And so I'm going to share my screen over here. This is an X-ray of a patient. He is a retired musician, done a lot of really cool things in his life. He was under chiropractic care a long time ago, and he just noticed that he felt really good during that time and period of his life. And he started dealing with some symptoms that built up in severity. So he's like, hey, I used to feel really good when I was getting adjusted. So let's go do that again. The symptoms that were most pressing to him were tinnitus. Okay. And so that's ringing in the ears. And then what really pushed him in is he's starting to get numbness and weakness in his hands and arms, bilateral equal. Okay. So this is the side view of his neck. Okay. We should have a curve that looks like this, and the back of these bones should all line up kind of like these ones. So we have a small stair step here, good alignment again, and then a huge stair step right here. And actually, in both of these cases that I'm thinking of, both of these patients end up being really, really grateful for their symptoms that drove them into the office. Because this person, if they get into a significant injury, they are liable for starting to consider emergency medicine, just because this already is becoming a pretty serious problem, is leading to all kinds of other symptoms besides this weakness into his hands. I'm going to kind of bring you back to me now. And so we have a spinal canal like this, and when those bones are lined up, we got a big hole. But when they start to shift, that hole gets smaller, and then that cord starts to get compressed. And that leads to a host of issues that usually begin organically and just overall energy level. And he's been noticing that falling. But then finally, it got to the nerves that go to his arms, and then he started to get weakness, and then the tinnitus was just getting louder and louder and louder. So through adjustments, the tinnitus went from constant and loud down to intermittent and bearable. He would still like to go away entirely, but tinnitus is a really tricky one. But anytime there's vascular flow or issues with kind of central nervous system, it can persist. And with his x-rays, I want to see it get less, but it may hang out there. But he's grateful for the change. All the strength is back into his hands. Okay. Less numbness tingling. Now he's just dealing with kind of the organic things. And that's kind of the frequent illness, the fatigue, that sort of stuff. And that's going to take time for this to really, really heal long term. And then once that's more stable, his overall health will start to improve substantially. He's already a pretty healthy guy considering everything. In fact, like I was really genuinely surprised when I took this x-ray and saw that, just because usually this has way more symptoms. But with him, we've been able to get him stable and feeling better, and he has a long way to go. But ultimately, he's so grateful for the symptoms he had that inspired him to get back under care so that he can properly deal with it. So not only he can feel better, but he can function better. And not only now, but well into the future as well, too. So if you have anything going on, I just encourage you to get checked out, because it's always easiest to get checked when things are early and not as developed. The longer they develop, the longer they take hold, the more arthritis builds, the longer it takes to get better. So it's always good to get checked early rather than late. And that's especially true for the spine and really anything in health. And so if you have anything going on, or if you even feel great, it's sometimes great to get checked and just stay well. We don't have to wait for major symptoms to get spinal care that we need. And so if you haven't had a recent checkup, I just encourage you to do that. We'd love to do that here in our office. Just give us a call or a text if you need anything. And looking forward to serving you at that next visit.